Hey everybody, it's Hylian Alchemist, and welcome back to the title screen of Sonic Adventure. We're going to be back in the gameplay shortly, though. In the last episode, we have completed Sonic Scenario. We went through the final egg, and we defeated the Egg Viper, and so, as a result, we're done with Sonic Scenario. And in this episode, we are finally going to move on to Tails Scenario. So, let's get started now, shall we?
Everything's working great! All systems go, full speed ahead! Uh-oh! What's this?
Boy, you're lucky I saw you come down. So what went wrong anyway? It's not like you to crash like that.
Yeah, it's just that I'm testing a new prototype power supply, and it's not fully compatible yet.
You can always borrow my plane, the Tornado, if you want.
Thanks, Sonic. But if I can make this work, it'll run circles around yours. Check out this power supply!
It's a Chaos Emerald! No way!
I was lucky to find one of the 7 Chaos Emeralds. They have unlimited mystic powers. Now I want to harness that power to fly my plane. Let's go to my workshop in the Mystic Ruins and I'll show you what I've been working on. We'll go to the station, hop on a train, and get there in no time.
Alright, so here in Tails gameplay, it kind of works a little differently. Like, I mean, pretty much, he does run as fast as Sonic, because, like, you know, you've been seeing him run very fast in the classic games, and his kind of control is a lot similar to the classic games, in which, basically, if you jump and then press the A button again, well, just press the A button twice and you can fly. Well, actually, I just demonstrated the attack button, yeah. Yeah, Tails' only attack is the, Tails swipe, where, like, where you would just, he basically just whack enemies with his tails. Just by pressing the B button. Well, kind of like the tail spin here. And, yeah, press A and then A again, and then, Tails will take flight. He has a limited, kind of a flight time, which, like, after a while, then he'll get tired, and then he'll start dropping down to the ground, but, he just generally drops down. He just doesn't, like, completely drop down. Like, he just generally drops down, and that gives you enough, enough time to aim where you want to land to. So it's kind of more comfortable like that. And here we have our very first upgrade for Tails, and let's see what it is.
Look, it's your jet anklet. Its jet power makes you fly faster.
And this would be the kind of upgrade that I would recommend that you use because, like, for one thing, we'll get more on that once we get to the stage, but I'll just mention this one thing is that it does help Tails a lot. Well, when he's flying at least, but more on that once we get to the actual stages themselves. So let's go on over to the Mystic Ruins.
The train headed for the Mystic Ruins will be departing soon.
Oh yeah, and by the way, you might have noticed that the dialogue in the cutscenes actually seem a little different than the cutscenes that you saw in Sonic's story. That's because, for what it seems to me is that, the reason why their words are different is because it actually takes form in the character's perspective. Like, you'll probably see a bit of a difference once we get to the next cutscene here with Robotnik.
Well, well, well. If it isn't Sonic and Tails.
It's Eggman!
Silence! I am Dr. Robotnik, the most cunning scientific genius in the world!
Yeah, right, Dr. Eggman.
Enough! I've been working on a master plan, but now it's time to put it to work!
That usually means trouble coming from you.
Don't even try to interfere this time. Give me that Chaos Emerald, or else...
Or else what, huh?
Or else I'll take it from you the hard way.
You actually did kind of notice that, didn't you? Like the way the way Robotnik's voice was. So yeah, it kind of comes in a different perspective from the characters. I don't know if it's probably either because Sonic Team was either like too lazy to recycle the cutscenes, or I don't know. I don't know what it must be, because it's not like in the later games in which they actually reuse the same cutscenes. But this is the only time in which the character dialogue is a bit different. I mean, pretty much the same, but just they're just wording them differently. Yeah, I actually, that's something I actually kind of like, because like the way the characters' perspectives are. Because, like, for instance, you remember how in Sonic's scenario in which like Eggman X, or I mean Robotnik. Well, I know he's going to be called Eggman later on, but I'm still going to call him Robotnik. He sounds like a large ham, mainly because Sonic usually doesn't take him seriously. But in Tails' case, Robotnik sounds very menacing, because Tails is an 8-year-old kid. And to him, Robotnik was not kind of menacing. It goes like, well, 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 if it isn't Sonic and Tails. Yeah, like that.
That was just too easy.
Gotcha!
Hey, he snagged it!
Chaos could use a little snack.
Who's Chaos?
That's the monster I saw the other day.
Monster?
Yes, it's really happening. Just as the stone tablet said it would. Hear this, Sonic? Chaos' strength increases every time I give him a Chaos Emerald. All he needs is 7 emeralds to become invincible. Then he will turn Station Square into rubble, upon which I will build the ultimate city, Robotnik Land. You ready, Chaos? Let's go find the next emerald. Come on.
Thank goodness they're gone. Good riddance.
We can't let that monster get any bigger. It could get ugly.
You're right. Chaos must be stopped. And he can be if we keep him away from more emeralds, right? So what do you say, Sonic? Let's find the Chaos Emeralds before Eggman does.
Alright, first and foremost, I want to show off something. I forgot to show this off in Sonic's gameplay, but I'm going to show it off right now. You can actually go inside Tails' workshop. And yeah, we see here, are those rib racks he has there? Anyway. There's also an emblem up there that I didn't get, but I wasn't quite sure. Well, maybe I could have done it as Sonic, but it's easier to go over there with either Tails or Knuckles, which you'll see later on. So anyways, yeah, pretty much same as before. We gotta get the Chaos Emeralds before Robotnik does, so let's go back to Windy Valley. But yeah, that's kind of what it's like here with different characters' perspectives. Like in Sonic's case, Robotnik is a bit of a large hand, but for Tails, he sounds menacing. Although there was that one bit in which, he just has this kind of voice right here, and then whenever he just introduces himself, for some reason he gets so loud. He goes like, "Oh, you're Dr. Robotnik!" Like that's he just suddenly just shouts like that in a Tails scenario. That's weird. Anyway, so here's the real meat for Tails gameplay. It's kind of like in Sonic's gameplay, which you can go from point A to point B. However, here's a little different. There's a little different gimmick. You actually have to race Sonic over to the end goal. In this case, we have to get to the Chaos Emerald before Sonic does. It's basically racing. And in Tails' case, well, we can actually do with Tails that a lot of these stages are seriously fucking broken. Like, trust me, I'm just like, you can actually just use these shortcuts just by going through those dash rings. But you can easily, like, annihilate the stages here just by using Tails' flight and just bypassing every single section of the stages here. Like either going through those dash rings or just taking the shortcuts. Yeah, you can easily just break the game like that. And trust me, I mean there are some sections or shortcuts I kind of forget to use, like that one back there, but that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing a lot of the times, is just taking those shortcuts and just essentially breaking the game. That's what you can do. And it's actually just one whole section of in the stages you can go through as Tails, but yeah, that's what you're pretty much doing, is just getting to the end goal before Sonic does. And something I also want to mention here is that Sonic can kind of have some sort of a rubber band AI. Like, for instance, if you actually follow your death and lose a life, then Sonic will actually, like, let's say you're starting from a checkpoint. Like, you get to the checkpoint, then you follow your death. Once you start with the checkpoint, Sonic will be there too. But yeah, his AI is a bit rubber banded. But that's pretty much the whole gist of Tails' gameplay here. Like, that's another thing I forgot to mention earlier, is that each of the characters that you play as will have different gameplay styles. So we went through Sonic's, in which it's basically just you go from point A to point B, kind of like in the classic games. While in Tails' case, you just get to the end goal before Sonic does. And with the Jet Inkling that we have, Tails can fly faster this time. And with that, then we can just easily be able to bypass some of the parts of the stage. And therefore, we can just easily break the game. Yeah, the stages as Tails are just broken. So, anyway, that's all I want to say about that. And there is a hidden emblem right here, and the frame rate is suddenly choppy for some reason. Hooray! Yeah, there's sometimes, like, only the Dreamcast version in which I would notice that the frame rate can be very choppy, somehow. Also, something I want to point out that was kind of different was that, last time we went back to the Station Square from the Mystic Ruins, it was already sunset, but in Tails' case, or in Tails' gameplay, then it suddenly becomes nighttime. Which is kind of weird. I mean, did Tails miss his train or something? I don't know. And another hidden emblem that's right up there, if I can reach it. That emblem you can only get to as Tails. You know, I gotta say, I almost, once I was about to say emblem, I almost literally said Lucky Emblem. I guess because I've been playing too much Kingdom Hearts 3 and because of all the memes going all over the internet regarding that, that makes me almost say it, and I can't help it. It always makes me say it. Damn you, Kingdom Hearts 3. Anyway, next time on Let's Play Sonic Adventure, we are going to be going to Casinopolis, and, well, there's a bit of a downside to that, in which we won't be able to do, which, well, you'll probably see what I mean in that episode. So, yeah, we're going to do that next episode, so, until next time, see you guys later.